Every week, I go to the beach to see what I can find. Sometimes it's a beautiful sunrise. Sometimes it's a new shell find. And sometimes it's an incredible pair of shells. Today, for the very first time, I'm going to find a pair of true angel wings that I know belong to each other, and I'm going to explain to you why this is such a rare find and why it's so very special. Today, beach friends, we will be exploring Bunch Beach. Now, this is more of a local beach. This is not necessarily a beach, I would say. You're going to find all the best seashells if you go to this beach. But I haven't been here in about 6 months, and I wanted something different. And I'm reminded of this quote, "Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change." So I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to creep around Bunch Beach for a little while. Now, that is a pair of rose petal Talon seashells. I know they're white. They should typically be pink, but those little sneaky shells also come in white, just to make things interesting. The tide is really out there. It's a little chilly. It's in the 50s. But I'm here to catch this super low tide and critters. Now, here is a critter. I know it's alive because of all the little claw marks in the sand. It's not really going to be footprints, is it? It's going to be little claw marks. So I know this critter is alive. It is wearing a little hat of sand. Are you okay, buddy? All right. Just chilling out, and that's fine. Like I said, I know it's alive. I think it's a mottled purse crab, but it's got a little sand kind of covering its head. So we're just going to keep moving along and see what else we can find. Now, Bunch Beach is kind of nestled in a bay-like area. It's between Lighthouse Beach here and the very north end of Fort Myers Beach here. And then here is Bunch Beach. And this is the area that we are going to be exploring today. As I mentioned, the tide is way out. So typically where I'm standing right now would be covered in water. But because it's such low tide, it exposes things like this massive lightning whelk. Now, there's a very good chance, I did say critter, yes. So this is an animal that is not done with its shell. That lightning whelk is alive and well, so I'm going to just leave it alone. And as much as I love finding the seashells, I really don't mind the critter encounters. As a matter of fact, I really kind of like the critter encounters. So if you're ready to see what else is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. So it did happen rather quickly when I got to the beach. My camera may have some trouble focusing because the light is very low, but this is what it looks like. So angel wings bury themselves in the ground and only the tips of their shells are actually exposed, and then the animal can kind of come out of the shell. I've never found a pair. I don't know that I've ever even seen anybody find a pair. That is incredible. Now the animal is not there. The animal is long gone, eaten by something else, washed away. Oh, another one. Oh, now I'm trying to figure out, because I don't want to break it. Now they can be rather delicate, so I'm trying to kind of pull it straight out. I don't want to, oh, it's cracked. Oh, that's broken. Shoot. Well, that is a deal breaker for me, so I'm going to leave that there. But I do have this pair. Yay! Incredible! So that's what low tide does. It exposes more. All right, I know my camera's struggling. And it's opportunities like this. Wow, another one. So why is this so cool? Well, angel wings don't have a traditional hinge the way that other seashells normally do. The animal is what actually holds the two sides of the shell together. So finding a pair is almost impossible unless you literally find them at the same time, because typically you find them in ones and twos. Maybe you'll find a lot of them, but it's going to be really hard to figure out, are they actually paired? Are they, from the same animal? Wow. Oh, this is so cool. Now I'm going to try to take them home. I'm kind of like, I don't want to rinse them off because I want to try to keep them in their original condition. So I'm going to put them in my bag with their sand and everything. This is a brittle star, and it is alive, I can tell, because its little arms have been moving all around. I'm not going to mess around too much with it. It looks rather delicate, and yeah, the tide will be coming back in eventually. And these animals are used to being in these environments where they will be out of the water for a little while and then back in the water. So I'm just going to leave that brittle star alone. Oh, good. Another pair of angel wings. Awesome. Holy cow. So as I'm finding them, I'm just putting them in my shell bag as is, like with the mud and muck and everything. And I figure, you know what? I'll work it out when I get home. Wow. Amazing. So think about that. That would be really, really hard to find a pair of these seashells unless you literally found them buried like this, because otherwise they all kind of look the same and you don't really know if it came from the same pair because they're not hinged. You don't find them hinged because there is no hinge. Wow. It was so cool. So because this is the first time this ever happened, and I don't know if this will ever happen again, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and I'm going to look for as many of these pairs as I possibly can. I'm pulling it straight up. I don't want to damage or break the shell. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess to clean up, but oh, I'm excited. Oh, that sunrise is just peeking out. I'm going to wait. I'll keep checking in on it. We'll see if it's going to be one of those really, really beautiful, fiery sunrises. And already into my walk, I'm thinking about how grateful I am, because if it wasn't for my Patreons, I probably wouldn't be here. I probably long ago would have said, you know what, I'm going to go to the beach when I feel like it once in a while. I'm not going to bother with these videos and taking all the time that I do to produce these and go to the beach and edit. So Patreons, truly, thank you so very much. And everybody else who comes by and watches, I really, really appreciate you giving me just a little bit of your attention every week. So I'll keep checking back in on that sunrise. It might not be one of those fiery ones. However, low tide at Bunch is always kind of pretty because you get a lot of reflection in some of the tide pools. And so we'll see that as they pop up. I will show you that. Okay, not an angel wing. This time it's going to be a sunray Venus clam. Lovely. No surprise to find those here. I think the lightning whelks actually like to eat those. And so I typically will find both sunray Venus clams and lightning whelks or the shells here at the beach. Oh, do we have a flat urchin? We do, and it's intact. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that like alligator pattern, right? Oh, it's beautiful. So that's a sand dollar. It is an urchin. It's part of the urchin family. Now you may notice some kind of traipsing around in the water, and you also might have noticed I flashed the temperature up a little bit earlier. It's in the 50s, and I'm walking around in the water because I got boots on. I really dislike being cold. I'm quite a baby about it, so I do everything I can to keep myself warm. One of the things being I'm wearing these goofy boots. These are not the exact boots I'm wearing, but my feet are dry, so I am nice and comfortable. Look how beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. So this is Bunch Beach. It's kind of slimy beach, frankly, but I don't mind the slime. I think the animals like the slime too. This is a Pear Whelk egg casing. The one part of it is buried it's attached to something, a rock, a shell, something buried. And the other part would kind of just be free floating. So when the tide comes back in, all of that will then be underwater once again. So I'm not going to disturb that. I want that to stay in as much water as possible so the little bibba shells can incubate. Little seabirds. Yeah, I've managed to, just because of being at the beach a lot, I've managed to learn a couple of birds too. And we will say hi to a couple of birds in a minute. This is a horseshoe crab shell. Now, I myself didn't realize when I started finding these that these animals grow like crabs and they outgrow their exoskeleton. So this is just an exoskeleton. Now I know it might look kind of creepy, but horseshoe crabs are actually really gentle and harmless. And the females can live from 20 to 40 years. Interesting. Okay. A smattering of little shells. And that's good because I'm thinking Wenzel trap. Okay, what is here? Well, I see a lot of those. Here's a NASA. Oh, with a hermit crab in it. Okay, so that's not a keeper. I see a lot of those West Indian false serifs. I see a scorched mussel. Okay, yeah, just bits and pieces. Oh good, here's another little baby pile. More of the West Indian false serifs. What am I picking up? Okay, yep, that's what that looks like. That is a West Indian false serif. Not to be confused with a dove. So that is a little dove snail. I believe that is a Gulf dove snail. Awesome. Something's a little different. Yeah, I know. There's some shells that kind of look like Whelk traps. I don't think they are. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm literally actively looking for the Whelk traps, but nothing's really, none of those blades, because they have lovely blades on them. None of them are really popping out. It's like, where's Waldo? But where's the sea? Where's the Whelk trap? Yeah, I don't think that's a Whelk trap. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna hold on to it just in case. Figure I can bring it home and, you know, work out that stuff later, especially the smaller shells. And that is, I think that's also another one of those West Indian, I think. All right, it's fun. No Whelk traps. I bet you if I do that again, we're gonna also find a dwarf olive. I always seem to find those when we're looking at the tiny, tiny shells. Okay, so these three avian friends, the one on the left there, that's a little blue heron. Now the juveniles of those birds can be white, so that'll just make things harder to identify. Then we have a reddish egret, that's the one in the middle. That also can come in white. That's just one of the morphs, or one of the versions of that bird. And then we have a brown pelican that happens to have a white head because it has its breeding colors on. So a couple of my fine feathered friends hanging out with me here at Bunch. Okay, so here is another one of those egg casings, and this is what I would prefer it to look like in the water, just kind of bobbing around. It's anchored to the seafloor, and hopefully there's little seashells and those little discs full of seawater, and so they will just kind of incubate. There's a little piece of that. It's a little bit thinner. The little babies will come out with their seashells, and those are baby pear whelks. So they come out with their little seashells intact and all that. So that's what I mean by saying Bunch Beach is so beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, I appreciate that. I just stop, appreciate it, and then while the tide is out, although it doesn't really matter with these tide pools, here is another little smattering, hopefully, maybe there'll be a Whelk trap or two. Let's see. All right, I see ladderhorn snails. Yeah, that's likely what I'm picking up. Yep, those are called ladderhorn snails. They're kind of fun. I really only find them here at Bunch Beach. Interesting. Maybe it's the muddy. Maybe they like mud. I do see a Melampus. I see more of those West Indian false serifs. Little NASA. Yeah, they look older. I mean, I see some color on some of these shells. Okay, that's the coffee Melampus. And I think it was last week. They have lungs. They don't have gills. So they spend a lot of time out of the water. I've never seen a live one. A whole bunch of ladderhorn snails and that one coffee Melampus. And I'm happy that I have my boots on because my feet are dry. I'm nice and toasty. Now, one of the animals and shells I definitely always look for when I come to Bunch Beach are crown conchs. So I am going to be actively looking for those. Oh, I see a bunch of hermit crabs. All little hermies. What about... Yeah, and a little hermit crab in that one too. Okay. Taken. No vacancy. What about... Okay. There's another dove snail. Oh. Okay. Here's another dove snail. That is a rusty dove snail. Yeah, check really good. Lots of hermit crabs here. This beach is very, very alive. So I check my shells really well. Anytime you're in the water, check my shells really well. All right, lightning whelk. I'm not going to keep it. Yeah. If only we had met, I don't know, quite a while ago. All right, nope. That is okay because we have a rose petal talon. Yeah, I didn't want to take that little critter with me. So another rose petal talon. Oh, it looks like a lightning one. No, it doesn't. It looks like a horse conch. It is a horse conch. And yeah, there's a critter in it. Yeah, that's why I didn't shake it too hard. The shaken baby syndrome that we do to these poor little hermit crabs and seashells sometimes. So there is a critter in there. So we are going to have to leave you here. I'm probably going to do much better with the bivalves. So something like this other, that's rose petal talon, that is not inhabited by a hermit crab. Like this shark eye. We have another. I think that's a long-wristed hermit crab. I think. Just by the shape. Not going to be able to tell for sure. But yeah, I love exploring bunch. I don't necessarily come here for shells. I know that sounds weird. I do, except for lentil traps and crown conchs like this. So this is one of the animals and seashells that I do actively look for when I come to bunch. But I actually think I saw a little claw. I think there might be a little hermit crab in there. And it's got a hole in it anyway. So, yeah. I'm just going to tuck that shell back in. Keep looking. Keep looking. Maybe there'll be something. Something spiky and purple and beautiful. Oh. Hello, little pear whelk. So that is a little baby pear whelk. Not surprising. We saw the little eggs here. It's like a little nursery. So cute little pear whelk. I'll just pop that into bleach. That'll be perfect. All right, sun came up. We're not getting one of those fiery sunrises. It was a lovely sunrise. I know. It looks muddy. Looks fun. That means fun for me. Oh, rose petal talon. Okay, so that is also a rose petal talon. Way easier to identify when they are pink. But as it turns out, just to make things interesting, they can also be white. Yuck, garbage. All right, we're going to take this. Now, this looks like a funny shape. It's an older can. Look, it's a pull tab. Yep, so I take garbage if it can fit in my shell bag. That is another sunray Venus clam. So like I said, we're going to end up probably with a whole bunch of bivalves today. Most of the hermit crabs are going to be probably in the gastropods. Oh, another, okay. I wonder if it's another, if I just kind of wandered back into that section. So that other shell is probably broken. That's why I didn't keep it. So this is how you would find angel wings, but they're not a pair. You might find a left and a right one, but it didn't necessarily come from the same animal. So we know all those are, I know those other ones came from the same animal. I'm going to still, okay, I guess I'm back in that section again. I missed a couple apparently. And so again, yeah, don't care about rinsing them off. It doesn't matter because I'm just going to kind of place them in my shell bag, try to keep them in the same vicinity so I can go home and hopefully try to figure out how to clean them up. I'll work that out later. Oh, a little marginella. Cute little thing. I like them. It's like a baby cowrie. It's even got like those little teeth. But that is an Atlantic marginella. Fun little egg-shaped shell. Now, winter means colder, obviously, but at least we don't get snow. So now it's warmed up to 57. And I dress in layers when I go to the beach. I got my boots on because in December, the average water temperature is about 70 degrees. Now, it can be as low as 63 or as high as 76. But I don't tolerate the cold really well. So I make sure I'm dressed for it. Oh, I also do not tolerate garbage. So yeah, I have been picking up I've been picking up a lot of garbage. So hopefully I have a nice big garbage total at the end of the video. Oh, another marginella. And look at another little piece of something. It's a little marginella, just making sure there's no critters in there. So I didn't think Yeah, I think so. Another little Atlantic Marginella. Okay, there we go. There is a dwarf olive. And they're hard with the little shells. They just stick to you because you're wet and it just kind of sticks to everything. But I do end up with a couple of those. Yep, all right. Got a dwarf olive and a little marginella. Looking for that Whelk trap. The elusive Whelk trap. All right, more garbage. Wonderful. Now we have two of the crossbarred Venus clams. I don't exactly know what that hinged shell is. If anybody knows what that is, that would be awesome. If you could let me know below in the comment section, that would be amazing because I'm not really sure. I'd appreciate the help. And another crown conch. Yeah, if only I needed some beige ones for a project. I mean, they're here, yay, but I do know that they've been here for a little while. Oh, garbage. All right, take that off too. Now we have some bubbles here, but that one on the bottom, that is a striate bubble. I pick those up all the time. These other two, they look different to me. And we do have a bunch of different types of bubbles here. I'm guessing maybe glass or barrel bubble. Once again, if somebody's smarter than me or just more experienced, if you know, if you could just pop it down in the comment below, that would be awesome. Lettered olive. So there are some seashells here. They're just not going to be, again, except for the Whelk traps and the crown conchs, probably not going to be in pristine condition. That is a little fighting conch. Yay. It's actually empty. Fantastic. Another striate bubble. So the typical bubble and a little a little Florida fighting conch. And another rose petal talon. Wonder why there's so many white ones here. Don't know. So there's a pink one. And then we have a bivalve. That is an Atlantic giant cockle. So it's like a little bebe beach bowl. So that animal will grow quite large. But you're alive, so you stay here to continue to cook. And I will take that rose petal talon. Oh, cool. They're hard to find. That is a mangrove periwinkle. Those critters are not true land or sea snails. They're kind of somewhere in between. And then that is a Morton's egg cockle or a yellow egg cockle. They only get so big. Yep, there's the yellow part. So it was empty. I'll go ahead and collect that Morton's egg cockle. And very cool to have another mangrove periwinkle. Awesome. Now we do have oysters here. I personally don't collect them. They're not that appealing to me, especially when I have things like lightning whelks and pear whelks, and I have all these other shells to choose from. So I don't spend a lot of time talking about oysters. We do have them here. I just wanted to acknowledge that. Look at how pretty. What a pretty color. Blue's my favorite color. So that's a really pretty piece of beach garbage. Crown conch. Okay, it's empty. I do like to check it out, even though I'm not going to keep it. There is a little NASA, I think, attached to it. So yeah, I'm not going to keep it anyway. All right, just like to check it out. It's really hard for me to walk past. I just like to look at them. I just pick it up, touch it, hold it. Okay, that is a tinted cantharus. Yeah, not in great shape. I'm going to definitely need to leave that for some hermie. Some hermit crab may need that shell. What? A baby's ear? Oh, that's really cool. All right, a little hole in it. I don't know if that's a hole or a drill hole. And a drill hole would just really be superfluous because the animal cannot get all the way back into its shell. Oh, that's neat. Little baby's ear. Okay, well, we have a little colony here. So this is a pear whelk with lots of barnacles. Now, those barnacles are not volcanoes. You can see that there's other, they're alive or deceased and left here. I don't know, so I'm not taking it. So anything that could be viable, I leave at the beach. It's just I have a very strict, nothing live comes home with me policy. Oh, it's been so fun. I'm so glad I came to Bunch Beach. However, I've been talking a lot, and I think it is high time that I be quiet and allow you to enjoy some beach time. Yeah, okay. Garbage was a little fun today. Oh, Ohio State, go Buckeyes. My father was from Ohio. All right, it's still garbage though. It's coming off the beach. All right, rose petal talon. Oh, good. They're much easier to find and identify when they are their proper pink color, in my humble opinion. So a couple of those lovely rose petal talons. Oh, it's been so fun. Low tide at Bunch Beach has been great. All right, come on, buddy. So this is a sea star. Now, for all those people who say, well, it wasn't moving. Okay, well, that doesn't mean that it's not alive. That critter wasn't moving, and guess what? It was absolutely alive. Now, give it a minute. It's going to kind of take shape. See, it's already kind of flattening out. All right, cut some time out there for you. But if you can kind of look at its little tube feet. All right, I'm going to zoom in a second here. There we go. So how cool is that? So I know the critter was all weird and misshaped and just kind of like laying there. It was absolutely alive. So they have sea stars. I don't even call them starfish anymore. So sea stars, they have a vascular system that provides hydraulic pressure for their many tube feet. So these tube feet, right? So imagine it would wrap itself around a clam and those little feet could just pull and pull and pull and it will outlast the clam. They don't get fatigue. So I just think they're beautiful and really kind of cool. And yet another example of just because it looks not alive does not mean that it's not alive. And now that the sun is up, it really is starting to warm up. It is a balmy 65 degrees out and yet another chunk of garbage. So I was able to remove a lot of garbage, I guess low tide. And frankly, maybe the way that Bunch Beach is kind of situated, but anyway, I'm going to do great on the garbage total today. That thing is pretty heavy. Well, low tide at Bunch Beach was a whole lot of fun. Those angel wings were amazing. And getting that close up of that little sea star, oh, that was great. Now, garbage, I was able to take a lot of garbage. I had to get kind of creative because I took that big pipe, which I measured at the beach at 3.41 pounds, and then I had to split the rest of the garbage up into 12.75 ounces and 11.7 ounces, and then subtract 1.1 from the container. So all in all, today I removed 4.851 pounds of garbage from the beach, and that means in total I have removed a little over 69 pounds of garbage from the beaches here in Southwest Florida. Now the angel wings, I decided the pairs that I knew were pairs I put together with rubber bands, and so I'm going to clean them with rubber bands on them just so I know who belongs to who, and then all the other ones I kept them as well. There was a bay scallop, I believe that's a beautiful marcoma. There were the rose petal talons, lots of the white ones, a couple of the pink ones, some of these sunray Venus clams. We'll slide over to the Morton's egg cockles, some of those ladderhorn snails, the mystery snail, looks like a Florida fighting conch, the jingle, some Nassas, some marginellas, a pear whelk, a Melampus, the striate bubbles, and then mystery bubbles. Looks like I kept a crossbarred Venus clam, some dwarf olives, some dove snails, a gulf and a rusty dove snail, and then the baby's ear. I think that was a sharp ribbed drill, and then the mangrove periwinkle was so fun. Now, I did want to let you know, I tried to clean the angel wings with hydrogen peroxide. They do such a great job on the sand dollars. I thought, could it work? Well, I'll tell you what, after soaking for a couple of days, survey says hydrogen peroxide works great on the sand dollars. and it did nothing to the angel wings. They just kind of soaked. It would have done no different if I left them in water, maybe soap and water. So I just want to be careful because they're so special to me. They actually came in pairs, some of these. So anyway, I'm going to have to work that out. They're currently soaking in water right now until I really figure out how to clean them without really damaging anybody. And once I figure that out, I will let you know. Thank you so very much for coming along with me on this. For me, it was an awesome little trip. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Next week, we're headed to Fort Myers Beach. It's going to be low tide. It's going to be awesome. I hope you have yourself a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.